All right.
Good morning and welcome back to the Kanc Connection. I'm Jillian Clark and today I will be co-hosting again with the wonderful Olivia Drapo. Hey Olivia, what's new in sports?
So much, Jillian. Welcome back to Yay Sports. Our skiing and basketball seasons have been wrapped up and soon we will be starting spring sports. In the varsity boys basketball playoff game, they lost 54-34 to Woodsville with 22 points from Cameron Claremont. In their playoff game, the girls lost 34-30 to Lisbon. If you're planning on playing softball or baseball, make sure to sign up using Family ID. Practice for varsity will start March 29th and practice for middle school will start April 5th. Congratulations to the winter sports teams on a great season. We look forward to spring sports starting.
Wow, so much cool stuff in sports. As some of you may know, the Future Business Leaders of America Club will be attending their Spring Leadership Conference virtually this year. Each student has worked on a project or performance that will be judged. Here is mine. Hello, my name is Jillian Clark, and I'm a senior at Lin-Wood Public High School. I've been a member of FBLA for the past 4 years, and this is the video I produced. Let's check it out. Hello, welcome to Lin-Wood, a K-12 school located on one beautiful campus in Lincoln, New Hampshire. Let's mask up and check it out. Here at Lin-Wood, we have the friendliest community, the hardest working students, and a safe, quality education. This is what our staff and students love about our school.
Here at Lin-Wood, we were happy to be in school full-time almost every week this year.
Here at Lin-Wood, we were able to have all sports in person this year.
For being a small school, we have some pretty impressive technology.
We love Lin-Wood!
Thank you for watching and have a great day. And now here's Shanna with her weekly news segment.
Welcome back to what went down in the world this week. I'm Shanna Drapo, bringing you recent news from all around the world. It's been a while since our last show, so I have quite a lot to catch you up on. Let's get right into it. 2 weeks ago, intense winter storms swept the southern central region of the United States. Temperatures dropped below zero throughout Texas and surrounding states, causing a climate crisis like no other. There were many power grid failures, leaving millions without electricity and heat. Water taps ran dry, pipes had burst, and water treatment plants had failed. Many Texans found themselves having to boil water before using it. Vaccine deliveries have been delayed, and there was a shortage of food in grocery stores and food pantries. 1/3 of oil production in the nation was stopped. Road networks were shut down. It is clear that this crisis is a result of climate change, and it is important for our country to take action and stop climate change from progressing any further in order to save lives and keep our country safe. Sticking to our Texas news theme, the state announced on Tuesday, March 3rd, that it would be lifting its mask mandate statewide and would allow businesses to reopen as cases drop. Texas is not the only state to do so. Mississippi has also ended their mask mandate. Massachusetts has allowed for restaurants to operate without capacity limits. and tens of thousands of Chicago students have returned to public schools. Federal health officials are worried that these state and local government leaders are acting too fast. This pandemic is far from over, and a drop of cases does not mean we are nearing the end. On February 25th, President Biden issued an airstrike on an Iranian-backed militia site in Syria in response to recent rocket attacks on American forces in the region. This airstrike has raised concern among prominently Democratic lawmakers who said the president did not ask for the necessary congressional authorization. The airstrike killed several people and destroyed multiple facilities. Now I have some good news for you. Cycling is a significant part of many people's lives in the Navajo land of New Mexico. However, there isn't a single bicycle repair shop in the area. A group of bike enthusiasts called Silver Stallion Bicycle and Coffee Works has decided to help with this issue. The group travels across these lands to do free bicycle repair for the Navajo Nation. The New Mexico Economic Development Department and the Southwest Indian Foundation have offered grants, along with a delivery truck, to Silver Stallion to help the cause. This free mobile repair shop has helped many people, especially those struggling with the effects of the pandemic. Silver Stallion wants to continue this program throughout the spring, with the belief that cycling is important in communities to help find joy during these difficult times. And that is what has been happening in the world recently.
Thank you, Shanna, for that great news update. We will now have a brand new myth from Emma.
Welcome back to It's All Greek to Me. And this week, I won't be talking about a specific myth. Instead, I've decided that it would be a good idea to contextualize things a bit. What we've learned already in 2021, looking at what we know in 2021, we can look at most of these gods in some parts of their stories and think, that's definitely a red flag. Hey Zeus, are you cheating on Hera again? Yeah, sisters, I know, man. Or, oh, Persephone, how's Hades? Heard he just kidnapped you, but I hope your wedding's fun. Or, Dionysus, are you and your cult having fun with all that dismemberment? Looking at these myths, we can see how a lot of these characters are morally dubious or just, outright murderers. But not all of these people would be shown as wrong. There are absolutely characters who have been seen just as horrible as they are today, like Tantalus, who messed up majorly. His crimes consist of cooking his son and serving him up for dinner to the gods. This is literally just such a stupid move. Like, today we can look at this and think, yeah, that guy's a total jerk. But back in ancient Greece, we can contextualize this as even worse from a base level. Two of the worst things that someone could do included killing family members and violating the laws of hospitality. Checking off both boxes, this is just about the worst thing you could do. But on the other end, let's think about Zeus. Zeus is honestly an utter scumbag from any modern semblance of anything. He's just a horrible person, a serial cheater, horrible parent, and married to his sister. From today's perspective, he's definitely not the kind of paragon hero you would want to see. But that wasn't how we were intended to see him. Zeus is the head god and a character that people were meant to look up to and, worship. Like, he did terrible stuff, but he was in a position where almost no one would have looked down on him or questioned him. Not even just on a moral level, but also on a, hey, I'd rather not get smited by a thunder god level. People wouldn't even thought to put him in a villainous role. And speaking of villains, Hades. Underworld god, obviously evil, except no. Just because we've been accustomed to think of underworld gods as evil doesn't mean they are. The synchronization of Hades and Satan has definitely led to Hades being villainized by the general public. Like, the average Athenian wouldn't like talking about him, but that's because death's scary. But if you look at his myths and how he's portrayed, he was honestly a pretty decent dude. Like, obviously kidnapping his wife was bad, but this was in a time where kidnapping and marriage were borderline the same thing, so what can you do? Hades and Persephone were pretty much the only couple who made a point of not cheating on each other and helping each other out, and just generally being a functional couple. But because of how their relationship started, people with a contemporary worldview will see this as an objectively unhealthy relationship. As an audience, we need to think more about the people who wrote these and what they intended for us to learn from these stories. In doing this, I'm not saying we should ignore their negative actions, but the original intent should be acknowledged. With several thousand years between us and these writers, it's astounding that we can even understand what they were trying to get across. But with contradicting societal ideas, we see all their stories in a different light, so sometimes it's best to think, what would the author want me to see?
Thanks for sharing that great myth, Emma. We will now be taking a short break, but don't go away yet. We have a lot more coming up right here on the Kanc Connection.
You're looking at me in the future. Okay. Hi, Isaac.
Hi. Wait a second.
Do you know who I am?
Julia.
This is Jaina. Into the future. I just wanted to talk to you about what happened with those two girls.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember it was this girl that I was getting bullied by that one day at PE when they were like yelling at me, and then you just linked arms with me? I don't think you know how much like that helped me, because like I finally like knew that I had somebody. Because of you, Isaac, and what you did for me years ago, I grew up to be more independent and love myself and just be a little bit more confident.
Aw, I'm like a little tearing up right now. Just to see her in the future just blossom and look beautiful, and that was really amazing.
Welcome back. Now on to Shanna with a recap of our keynote speaker.
On Thursday, February 18th, we had Mohammed Bilal speak to our school about appreciating diversity virtually. He combined important lessons, personal stories, and hip-hop music to engage the audience and help all of us learn about diversity. His speech explored 12 steps towards appreciating diversity. Some of these steps include: look for commonalities instead of differences, try not to judge, learn to distinguish between prejudice and true dislike, and remember that you are bound to make mistakes. In a school like Lin-Wood, and anywhere, it is important to learn from the things Muhammad spoke about and have these difficult conversations in order to understand each other and create a brighter future for everyone.
Thanks for the update, Shanna. Now on to a word from Tucker.
Welcome. I am Tucker Bailey. I recently had the opportunity to interview Mr. Pribernow, where we discussed about the Winter Carnival. Unfortunately, I did lose the video, but have no fear, I still have some info. Our chat talked about the community morale and how important it was to continue Winter Carnival tradition for the students' benefit, especially during a bizarre year like this school year. I then asked him about his thought on collaboration and how it benefited our students. Mr. Pribernow said he thought collaboration was a good skill to have, and the students would take away a lot from collaborating. Finally, he noticed seeing many of the older students helping the younger ninth graders because freshman class was so small. It was a great conversation. We'll bring more from Mr. Pribernow in future episodes.
Thanks, Tucker. Next up, a movie minute from Madhav Patel.
Welcome back to Jack's Movie Minute. I'm here today because, well, Madhav didn't do his, so you all know how that is. So today we are doing Doctor Strange. So what happens in the movie is Doctor Strange, or Stephen Strange, is a neurosurgeon. And so for a neurosurgeon's work, he has to have very precise hand movements. But in the beginning of the movie, you'll see he gets into a car crash. Just in this car crash, this causes his hands to be severely damaged. And because of this, his hands will now constantly shake. And so, because of that, he can no longer do neurosurgeon work. So he spends billions of dollars, he spends his fortune trying to find a cure, a way to fix his hand, coming up with new revolutionary ideas to cure himself. So he tries any form of recovery, whether it be training or having other surgeons work on him as well. In the end, nothing ends up working. And so he ends up seeking out a sort of more magical form of medicine. he ends up going to this sort of Zen school where they teach to sort of take energy from other dimensions and use it for themselves. By doing this, he's able to slowly cure his hands, and he starts to learn magic. As you know, the classic sling ring, just magic. He's sort of in charge of protecting the world against cosmic threats, I'd say. Because there's this big bad dude named Dormammu, big, starry, galactic ghost person. And there is a amulet called the Eye of Dormammu, and inside of it is a stone called the Time Stone. So he uses a stone to sort of control time. He can rewind times on things, or he can speed up. In some cases, he can create an infinite loop. Dormammu's followers start to converge and start to try and bring Dormammu into their world because for some reason Dormammu wants to eat all life on their planet. I mean, classic comic book, but come on, be a little creative. So they're trying to eat everything on the planet, and it's going to be up to Doctor Strange and his new wizard friends to stop and defeat him. If you want to see what happens, watch the movie. This is Jack's Movie Minute. Should have been Madav's, but whatever.
Thanks for putting that together, Madav, or should I say Jack. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and out of concern for the health and safety of the residents of the Lincoln-Woodstock School District, the school district moderator and school board have made the decision to hold the 2021 school district annual meeting virtually in accordance with House Bill 1129. Public hearing sessions will be held via the Zoom platform on Tuesday, March 16th at 6 p.m. and again on Thursday, March 18th at 6 p.m. Please check the school website at www.lin-wood.org under meetings regularly, as additional information on processes will be posted soon. Voting will be held in person on Friday, March 26th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Lin-Wood Middle High School. This means students will have an early release on that day, and voting will be at 11:45 to allow, the students will leave at 11:45 to allow for the voting to take place. Thank you for your participation and support of our schools.
The National Honor Society has gained some new members this spring. Juniors Andrew Wilson, Sienna Mack, Britta Robinson, Sydney Pickering, Mahali Sorgiadakis, and Seven Fitzgerald, along with seniors Blake Tower, Maxwell Blanc, and Haley Otis, will be inducted on March 30th. These students will join previous members Olivia Drapo, AJ Vecchione, Jacob Morris, Silas Whedon, and myself. The induction ceremony will be on March 30th. Only immediate family is allowed to attend in person. However, we will be streaming it live, right here on the Kanc Connection.
That's all for today on the Kanc Connection. Stay safe and have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.